In the heart of the Indian Ocean lies the island of Mauritius, the home of the legendary dodo. In Port Louis, the island's capital, stands the Aapravasi Ghat, the landing place for the many contract or indentured laborers who arrived from India, Eastern Africa and Madagascar to work on the island's sugar plantations during the 19th century. In Hindi, a ghat is a place where land meets water, and it is at the Aapravasi Ghat that the history of not only many Mauritians, but also millions of other people elsewhere in the modern world begins. During the 18th and early 19th centuries, Mauritius was at the center of a slave trading network that drew hundreds of thousands of chattel laborers from throughout the Indian Ocean world and beyond. The abolition of slavery in the British Empire, of which Mauritius was a part in 1834, set the stage for what has become known as the Great Experiment.
This great experiment was initiated by the British government to demonstrate the superiority of free over slave labor. Mauritius was selected to be the test case for this new system of indentured labor, and the success of the Mauritian experiment encouraged the introduction of indentured laborers into other parts of the European colonial plantation world. By the time this system came to an end after the First World War, more than 2 million men, women, and children had emigrated from India, China, Java, and Melanesia to the Caribbean, Southern and Eastern Africa, Malaya, and Australia. It is here at the Aapravasi Ghat that we have the most important existing symbol of this new global phenomenon.
To better understand the Aapravasi Ghat and the experience of those who passed through it, let us follow the footsteps of an arriving immigrant. The first view arriving immigrants had of the Aapravasi Ghat was from the Trou Fanfaron, where immigrant ships docked. From the ship, immigrants climbed a series of 14 steps to reach a receiving area where they bathed and were given clean clothes. Immigrants then proceeded to an open bustling courtyard lined with various offices where they would be processed and structures where they would be fed and housed until they were sent to the sugar plantation on which they would work. Newly arrived immigrants often dealt with various offices in the depot, some of which still exist, such as the surgery, the office of the gatekeeper. While being processed, immigrants were fed from several kitchens. Immigrants slept in large sheds built along the depot's walls. Immigrants passed through this main gateway as they left the depot to begin their term of indenture, which normally lasted for 5 years. Immigrants who decided to return to their home in India or elsewhere passed through the same gateway as they left Mauritius. Preservation and conservation of the Aapravasi Ghat is being conducted in accordance with the guidelines established by the World Heritage Convention, of which Mauritius is a signatory, and is being supervised by the International Council of Monuments and Sites. A comprehensive archaeological survey of the site began in 2001, while excavations began in 2003. At the same time, intensive archival research was carried out to uncover the history of the site and information about the buildings on it. The result of this work was to determine how the Aapravasi Ghat looked in 1864 and 65, the date which now serves as the benchmark for preserving the site. An integral part of the preservation process is to ensure the site's historical integrity. Techniques and materials authentic to the period are being used to conserve the site's structures and features. Traditional techniques are being employed, for example, to prepare the lime mortar used for pointing. The nation's commitment to preserving the Aapravasi Ghat may be traced to the activities of individuals such as Bikram Singh Ramlala, who began a campaign in 1970 to increase public awareness of the site's historical and cultural heritage importance. Many Mauritians from all walks of life have subsequently shared his commitment to this undertaking. The most apparent manifestation of this continuing public participation is the interfaith ceremony held at the site every November 2nd, a date which is now a public holiday. In 1987, the Aapravasi Ghat was declared a national monument by the National Assembly. Since then, the Mauritian government has demonstrated its continuing support for preserving the Aapravasi Ghat in both word and deed. The creation of the Aapravasi Ghat Trust Fund in 2001 is the most recent manifestation of the Mauritian commitment to the preservation of a site of international as well as national significance.
Only dreams they cannot keep. I have legends in the deep. Paint this skyward star.
The Aapravasi Ghat is deserving of World Heritage status for many reasons, among which three stand out. Firstly, the Aapravasi Ghat is that place in time and space where the modern global system of contractual labor came into existence. Secondly, this global system of labor was instrumental in the creation of the many rich, multicultural societies that came into existence from the Caribbean through the Indian Ocean and Southeast Asia to Australasia. Finally, the Aapravasi Ghat remains a unique structure in the world, a structure intimately bound up with the story of the men, women, and children who passed through its portals, and of the history and culture of their millions of descendants.